it has to make sense. It has to make sense. Whatever making sense is to you. Certain things can make sense to you. It don't gotta make sense to me, but it needs to make sense. And if it does not make sense, why the fuck are you doing it? You can't complain about having a lot on your plate when your goal is to eat. But damn, I need to take a little break. I need to let my food digest so I could keep continuing to eat. If Johnny had 7 apples and wanted one for each day of the week, and Katie asked Johnny for an apple, and Johnny didn't want to give Katie an apple, then Johnny should still have 7 apples. Ooh, child, what is up, you guys? We're back with another podcast video. I don't know why I'm so nervous. I don't know why I'm so antsy about it. I feel like I have not done this and sat down and recorded a video in a minute. But we are back, and I wanted to do something a little bit fun, a little bit different. We're having a little girl chat. You all see the title, How to Survive Your 20s, okay? And this is just more of a conversation type of situation. Kind of like homegirl to homegirl, homegirl to homeboy, homegirl to home whatever. My name is Deja D. Welcome to my podcast, Let Me Tell You Something. This is from my blog, Deja's Daily Dose. Make sure you're following Deja's Daily Dose on all social media platforms. That's Instagram, TikTok. We also have a Twitter. I don't post on there. I probably should get a little more active on there, but definitely Instagram and TikTok. Also, make sure you're subscribed to this channel. Make sure you follow my personal page, Deja D. I don't know. I feel like I'm going through a really big transition right now. I'm feeling a little weird. I'm feeling a little, I don't know, but I needed to take some time. I think my last episode that I posted was a month ago, which is kind of crazy, but I needed to recharge. I got a new computer. I moved the end of January. So I just kind of had to settle in a little bit. It's been a lot mentally going on. I haven't even really been talking to, too many people on the phone, honestly. I don't know what's going on. But I wanted to record today. I wanted to do a little girl chat. I don't know why I'm getting so worked up a little bit, but I wanted to record today. Hopefully I don't have no tears because I want to do my makeup. And I just want to chat to you all. So, okay, we're not going to cry. We're not going to do anything. We're just going to chit chat. We're going to be some girl talk. We're going to be talking all things about surviving your 20s. And yeah, let's get into it. Let me get my little self together and then we're going to get into this video today. All right, here we go. So I'm going to try to talk a little bit through as I'm doing my makeup. A lot of people be asking me what you do for your makeup? What do you do for your makeup? My makeup honestly depends on just how I'm feeling. So I'm going to go in with this Milk Hydro Grip primer. e.l.f. also has the dupe for this one. Both are really good. I have both of them. I'm just going to use the Milk one. I already put some NYX brow gel on, and then I just kind of have some Trixie pink lip gloss on. So yeah, I'm also one of those people that use my hands a little bit. My hands are clean, child. I'm doing my face. If I was doing somebody else's makeup, I wouldn't do my hands. Even if my hands are clean, or even when my hands are clean, I just wouldn't do that. But we're doing my face, so that's nothing. I also kind of want to really be glam today. I want to be filming again, trying to, get into my little groove, whatever the case may be. But yeah, I wanted to do this little TikTok video because, not this TikTok. I wanted to record a podcast about this topic, going and surviving your 20s, because I had posted a TikTok video talking about some things that I learned in my 20s. I'll make sure you all check that out on the Deja's Daily Dose TikTok page. And it was getting a lot of engagement. So I said, okay, I'm going to make a longer version of it, kind of expand a little bit on those and just make it into a podcast form, or take that topic and make it into a podcast form. By no means am I an expert in surviving my 20s. I'm 23. I'll be 24 in July. But these are just some things that I've learned through my life experiences. Y'all know I love, looking up to older people, mentors, things like that. I don't have a direct mentor, but I do have Hampton alum that I follow, people that I follow that are older than me. I listen to a lot of podcasts, always gaining knowledge from elder peers, older and wisers, aunties, moms, grandmas, etc. So I feel like I got a little bit of tricks up my sleeve, and this is no means like a shaming type of video. Y'all saw I was like about to basically break out into tears just now, just even going into talking about the topic, because I feel like this is something that I have to constantly remind myself. Topics like, it's just a lot, honestly. Okay, guys. So the first thing I wanted to talk about was, let me tell you something. Your 20s are the best and the worst years of your life. Okay. Learn to give yourself some grace. I am constantly telling myself, like, Deja, please stop being so hard on yourself. So learn to give yourself grace to cry. Give yourself grace to take space from certain things. Like I said, I didn't record a podcast episode for almost a month. But also learn to find the strength to grow and push forward. So even in the midst of me not feeling 100% my best, I feel like each podcast season, I'm not really 100% sure about the first season. I think I was pretty consistent with that. Second season, I was like, child, I was taking breaks. I was moving. I was depressed. I was doing a whole bunch. And I didn't think I was going to do that this season, but obviously I started the season in a completely different place than I'm at now. And I'm only on episode 8, and I think I'm going to do 10 this season. So I'm like, okay, like, life be lifing, and I have to learn how to give myself grace. There's certain things that I can't necessarily take breaks on, such as like work. I got to go to work. I have found myself taking off work even a little bit more. I have a lot of PTO, and I'm thankful for that I get to, you know, take days off for like this mental health. Like, I just mentally can't even see myself going in. I'm also going in with Thread Beauty shade 160. I love these sticks. Do you see how beautiful this match is on my skin? It's really pretty. So yeah, learn to give yourself grace, but also find the strength to kind of pick yourself up. I was like, Deja, okay, like, I just went and bought a new laptop, so I'm able to edit my videos again. I'm like, okay, Deja, like, when are you going to get back to doing this podcast? Like, when are you going to get back to it? You love doing it, but it got to a point where it was like, I just couldn't bring myself to do it. First of all, I felt like I just didn't have nothing to say. I had writer's block. I didn't know what to write. I didn't know what to talk about. I didn't know what to say. And I also don't want to get up here and not feel super passionate about what I'm doing. But as a creative, I go through that like a lot, especially when it comes to topics like such. So I wanted to make sure that I really like felt passionate about what I was going to get on here and talk about, etc. So here we are, here we go. So in the midst of you giving yourself grace, you also have to learn how to find that strength to push forward. So if you don't know, I am in grad school. This is my first semester of grad school. I'm in my first semester of my professional clinical counseling program. So I'm studying so I can become a licensed therapist. And I've learned so much throughout this program, different diagnoses, different disorders. And one disorder that really stuck with me that I wanted to talk about in this podcast episode today was adjustment disorder. So basically that's when you're going through adjusting periods in your life. And you all know that this podcast is targeted to people in their early 20s. And in that time of being in your early 20s, most of us have just graduated. Most of us just started new jobs. We're moving. We're navigating through different relationships, both romantically and friendships and families. We're learning so much about ourselves. We're learning how we want to wear our hair, how we want to do our nails, how we want to wear our outfits. We're learning just so much about ourselves. And it's a lot. It's a lot of adjusting going on, and you could get very overwhelmed with that. And if you don't take anything from this video, if you don't take anything from this surviving your 20s, learn to give yourself grace, especially as women and especially as Black women. You all know this podcast is open for everybody. You all know everybody can watch this podcast. I'm not discriminating or whatever, but I'm talking to my girls. Being in your 20s is a beautiful, fun process. I wake up a lot recently, especially with me being 24 in a few months. And you all know that they say that when you turn 25, you know, your frontal lobe fully develops. So with me being 24, I feel it like going like this, like my sister literally called me, a few minutes before this before I started recording. She didn't know I was recording today. This is too close to my natural shade. I mean, too close to my skin complexion. I do a color like that mostly when I'm like doing like a more natural, no makeup look. So I want to go in with something a little bit brighter. I'm gonna take shade 7. So my sister called me. She's 21, and as we were talking, a lot of the things that she was explaining, I could see myself in that situation. You know, she was just telling me a little bit of things she was frustrated with. I'm not going to go into detail. But a lot of the things that she was frustrated with were things that I experienced during that time. If you don't know, I'm the oldest sister as well, which comes with a whole nother set of just like perspective, personality, experience, whatever, because I didn't have a big sister to call to give me some advice. I didn't have a big sister to call to say, you know, hey, X, Y, and Z is going on. Like, what do you think about that? And now looking at her at 21, I see myself a little bit in some of the struggles that I was dealing with. And it's like, I'm not, and I, you know, said this to her. I said, I'm not like shitting on you. I'm not saying that the things that you're doing are wrong. I'm not saying that your feelings are invalid, because when I was in your place, those things were very much affecting me as well. They were very much making me cry. I was upset. I was frustrated. But now looking at them, it's like, girl, you need to do X, Y, and Z. Peace over all that. Okay? Peace over all of that. This is the advice that I could give to you. You know, the things that you're stressing about, I'm not going to minimize them because they're very extreme for you right now. You're in college. These are the things that you're stressing about. But now that I'm 23, about to be 24, girl, you better and keep it pushing. Okay? So now that as I'm growing, I see my frontal lobe developing. And as intimidating as it is, and as much, you know how they say you're older and you're wiser? It's beautiful becoming older and wiser. You're getting older, you're getting wiser, you're getting hotter, you're getting smarter. This is the smartest that I've ever been. I'm very goal focused right now. I'm very focused on my dreams. I'm very focused on my career, but I'm not so focused that I can't pause and enjoy life and find balance in that. I find balance in, you know, building relationships with my family. I find balance in building relationships with friends, making new friends, you know, building relationships and dating and etc. So I get excited about getting older, but it is very intimidating. It comes with a whole new set of responsibility. You know, you look back and you see things and you're like, wow, like when I'm talking to my sister, I'm like, wow, like I was 21, now I'm 23. Like, where the hell did the time go? But it's beautiful because it's like the things she's stressing about, I remember stressing about those things, and it's like they're so far gone. And the things that I'm stressing about right now at 23, who's to say that in a few years from now, those things will be so far gone. So it's beautiful. It's beautiful seeing the growth, but it is like, you know, you just keep growing. You just keep having responsibilities. Because the things she was crying about, I still be dealing with them. She over here talking, you know, about certain things that she's taking care of. And it's like, girl, let me tell you something. You think that's a problem? Wait till you get this fixed. It's going to be triple that, okay? So you better get serious. You better get your mind right. Because shit is expensive, okay? Like, you're going to have to deal with this. I'm dealing with this. And I got a dog, and I live on my own, and I'm away from home, and I have this to deal with, and I have this to deal with, and now I'm in school too, and I got to go to work. Like, girl, I'm not saying you ain't got nothing going on, but that is going to make you ready for this. You better get ready for that because you're going to have to get ready for this, okay? So yeah, it's beautiful growing up. When I wake up and I see myself getting older, like I said, I'm the smartest that I've ever been. I'm very goal driven. I'm very focused on myself. I see all of the things. I have tangible things to show my success in my work. I've worked my ass off. I worked hard. I moved out my parents' house when I was 19, moved with my grandma, moved out. Now I'm living on my own. I have my own place. So yeah, I might want more. I definitely want a newer car, a nicer house, so whatever the case may be. But I also have tangible things. Like, I do have keys to my own place. I have a roof over my head. I have food on my table. I have things to show for what I'm working so hard for. And I keep working hard to develop and get more. So I get excited when I think about, you know, me being in school. I get excited when I'm in my classes and I feel myself walking in my purpose. I know that 14-year-old Deja will be happy to see the things that I'm doing with my life, from living in a new city to, working, to a lot of things in my personal life. It's beautiful learning about my style, experimenting with my look. I changed my hair so much, it's crazy. And I also wanted to add that it's beautiful also seeing your peers grow. There's a lot of people that I went to school with. I literally hung out with one of my friends, Kanan from college. If you all see my college vlogs and stuff, I literally saw him like the other day. He was here in Philly visiting, and it's like cool, like even seeing him, like we're both in grad school, he's getting his doctorate degree. I'm in grad school. When I talk to like my little, she's in North Carolina in grad school. When I talk to some of my friends back home, they're in cosmetology school. This person just started a new job. This person's getting their certificate. I got friends that are moving out, moving away. I have a friend that's out in Africa right now doing OBGYN work. It's beautiful to watch us all grow up. It's beautiful to see your peers growing up, walking in their purpose. And as intimidating as it is, and as much as we want to sit back and reminisce on all those high school days and things like that, we see people getting grown, getting married, buying homes, having babies, getting cars, like doing their things. It's really amazing. It's really beautiful. These are the years of so much changing and adjusting. And as fun as all of these things are, it is very hard and emotional as well. It's fun living in a new city away from home until you miss your friends and family. How do you explain? And this is why I feel like I haven't really been able to talk too much to people at home, because I talk to like family and stuff, and it's like, I feel like they get me sometimes, but sometimes I just like to kind of quiet out the noise, because yes, these are the best years of my life. I don't have kids. So it's like, people like to minimize it a little bit, minimize your experience. That same feeling that I had talking to my sister, and she probably sitting there like, Deja gets me, but she doesn't get it, because she probably thinks like, Ayana, like you're tripping off of this. Like, come on now, get it together. I kind of feel like I'm in that place when I talk to like older people a little bit, where I'm like, well, this is just so much. And they're like, well, you don't have kids. So like, blah, 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 or like, you're able to do this, and this, and this. So how do you explain the excitement of, being in a new area, but missing home? Like, you chose to move out there, Deja. And you don't miss home enough to move back, but you miss the comfort. You miss I miss sometimes, lately I've been missing a lot of the DMV in a sense of like the familiarity, people knowing me. I know people, I just know people. I know that this type of people do this. I know that they're in this type of group. I know that this is their history. I know this. We're here. When I'm socializing, I'm building my circles. I just know what you're telling me right here, right now. I don't know you from a can of paint, honestly. I don't know your history. All I know is what you're showing me. So it feels a little green. If you don't know what green means, that just means like, you just don't know. You don't know. You only know what you're getting told. So that is very intimidating for me, because if I'm home, I know, oh, what high school did you go to? Oh, so I could kind of get an idea of this. I kind of got a vibe of you. If anybody has ever moved away or whatever, definitely chat with me in the comment section about that. But that's an experience that, like, how do you explain that to people who haven't done that? You say that to them and they're like, well, I mean, you moved away from home, you chose that, and I love it, but it's like a lot sometimes to navigate. You get a little overwhelmed. How do you, it's so fun starting that new job until the weekend is over, and then you got to go back to work next Monday, and then, the weekend comes again and you got to go back to work, and you just don't stop. It's so fun meeting new people until you really have to grow these relationships. It's so fun. It's so fun. Everything in your 20s is so fun, but sometimes we need to pause. We need to step in the shower. We need to feel the water on our skin. We need to lay in the bed. We need to feel our sheets. We need to go outside and feel the air and say, wow, like this is a lot. I am adjusting to a lot. I seen a quote that says, we cannot complain about having a lot on our plates when the goal was to eat. But sometimes I'm like, damn, a girl getting full. Sometimes when I eat a lot of food, I gotta take a break. Sometimes I have to stop and ask myself, okay, did I just finish breakfast? How many courses is this meal? Is it okay if I just had a snack? We cannot pour from empty cups. We cannot complain about having a lot on our plates when our goal was to eat. But we also have to know that it's okay to take a break when you get full. Sometimes you have to walk off some of that food. You got to let it digest a little bit. We're consistently changing. We're consistently evolving as people. In our 20s, we're building the foundations of our lives. We're experiencing such drastic and dramatic changes that we have to adjust to. This is this adjustment disorder that I'm talking about. And we just have to learn how to keep pushing with it, because we can't get in a state of like, okay, this is too much, I'm overwhelmed, I'm stopping, I just can't do it. Like, no, you have to keep working. You have to keep working. You have to keep showing up. You have to keep going to school. You have to keep driving to get your career. You know, you have to keep getting successful, or, you know, you will end up sitting somewhere and you be looking up and, okay, I done took this break and I looked up and now I'm 35 still living at home, or I done, you know, did whatever the case may be because it was too hard. And nobody's saying that you can't, you know, do different things and take a little step back, but just in a sense of like, okay, girl, you're an adult. We can't go back to being 5 no more. We're not 5 no more. You're grown, you have bills, you have responsibilities, and you have to keep pushing. Our mamas and daddies and aunties and uncles and all the people that came before us, when shit got hard, they had to get harder. They had to get tougher. But I think that it's about, okay, you can't complain about having a lot on your plate when your goal is to eat. But damn, I need to take a little break. I need to let my food digest so I could keep continuing to eat with this plate. I have to, you know, understand that, okay, I did undergrad. That was my fucking breakfast. That was my breakfast. I had a lot on my plate in undergrad. That was my breakfast. Can I take a little break before I get to lunch? Okay, cool. Lunch, that time frame after my undergrad. Maybe I'll say that was a little snack, a little light snack before lunch. That was my light snack. I took a little break. I took some time off. I moved to a new city. I was in a relationship. I was, you know, doing whatever, started a new job, had that period of like, okay, you were depressed. You had to get yourself up out of that. Great, 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 great. Now it's lunchtime. You want to start school. You want to do business. You got your podcast. You're doing events. You're doing this. You're making friends. You're doing whatever you got going on in your personal life. You're in therapy. You want to build this relationship again with your parents. You want to balance all these fucking things on your plate, Deja. But you need to realize that you could get full sometimes. I need a break. Mama needs to take a seat. I need to put the fork down just for a little bit. I'm going to pick it back up. I'm picking it back up. Because some things I need to still, you know, finish. I can't just stop certain stuff. I can't stop going to work. I can't stop going to school. I put that on my plate. But there's some things that I have to say, okay, I'm going to save that for later. And then you pick it back up and you eat it for later. You need to find balance. You need to let some stuff digest. And that is where, you know, it's beautiful growing, but it's hard. And we need to learn to give ourselves grace in that. We need to know that we are grinding, we are setting our lives up, we're laying the foundations for our future, we're planting the seeds and watering them. But we also have to allow ourselves time in the process to give ourselves grace to embrace these changes, to soak in them, to adjust to them. So we can be aware of our lives, because you do not want to wake up one day and say, what the fuck? What happened? If you don't learn how to adjust to all these different things going on in our lives, if you don't learn how to adjust to that move, if you don't learn how to adjust to these new relationships, if you don't learn how to adjust to that job schedule, if you don't learn how to adjust to all of these drastic changes in your life, you will look up and say, what the hell? Why am I wearing my hair like this? Why have I been going to the same job for the last 3 years and I haven't been able to pick up on the routine. All I do is go to work, I go home because I haven't adjusted, but I added all this stuff to my schedule. I'm living like a fucking robot. Am I AI? This is not future. This is not an AI. Okay? Learn how to adjust. Learn how to give yourself grace. Yes, you can't complain about having a lot on your plate when your goal was to eat, and you could still be very goal driven. I am very goal driven, but I have to take a break sometimes. I have to say, okay, Deja, breakfast is over. Like, give yourself a break. And I'm not talking about Cancun. I'm not talking about Dominican Republic break. I'm saying a true, genuine, like, hold on, guys. I can't keep adding stuff, and not finishing what I ate. I can't keep adding stuff. I can't keep doing things. I can't say I want to do grad school, the business, the friends, the relationship, the new place, the new car, the new this, the travel, the this. I'm going to burn out. I can't do that. I need to calm down. I need to know that it's okay to calm down. You're still grinding. You're still a boss, babe, for saying, hold on a little bit. Okay, so the next thing that I wanted to say in the surviving your 20s is we need to learn how to prioritize ourselves. I also put my lighter concealer on. So I'm going to go ahead and lightly blend that out, and then I'm going to do my blush. I also put my contour on. For contour, I use my Trixie Cosmetics. And then for my concealer, I'm going in with shade, I believe this is 5, from the Thread Beauty. Thread Beauty complexion products are some of my favorites. They're at Target. I know y'all are boycotting Target, but they're available at Target. I have it already. They sent it to me in PR, but I absolutely love these. So definitely check those out if you all want to. And I'm going to take e.l.f. for my blush. I'm going to do something really pink today. I think I'm going to try to do some eyeshadow as well. So those are just a few little makeup updates as I'm going. So yeah, back to, the topic of prioritizing yourself. I said this in a video once before, and I want to just make sure I'm very careful on how I word certain things. I've been very mindful on the word and the verbiage that I've been using lately in my day-to-day life. I'm very mindful of just how I'm expressing myself in my day-to-day life as far as emotions that I'm using. And that comes from just like now being in grad school and like really finding the importance of like, no, I'm not mad, I'm disappointed. No, I'm not sad, I'm frustrated. Or, like really just being able to vocalize my feelings and my emotions and also taking a break from it. So I want to make sure that I'm very mindful on how I'm saying this, this topic of prioritizing yourself. This is for the single people. And by single, I mean legally not married. You can have a boyfriend, you can have a girlfriend, you can have a date, them, whatever. But if you're not checking merit on that tax bracket this year, you're single. And you need to listen up. If you have children, then you need to adjust this message to whatever works best for you in your heart. I don't have children, I have a doggy, so I understand that love and responsibility that comes from that. Not like, fully like kids because he's a dog. But I might have not went and fully got no groceries for myself, but I'm going to make sure Leo has some food. You know what I'm saying? So if you have kids, you kind of have to adjust it as such. I get it. But these are the years that you have to prioritize yourself. These are the years and the time that you have to be planting seeds for your future. And you have to do things that make you happy at the end of the day. A lot of us can look and think of someone who is older than us, whether it's a family member, our auntie, mama, daddy, cousin, coworker, grandparent, etc. And what do they say? You have to be happy at the end of it all. Live your life, be happy, chase that dream. I wish I would have. I wish I wasn't scared. Try to live your life without having regrets. you have to make decisions in your lives. And sometimes we make certain decisions that are best for us at a certain point in our lives. And we might look back and be like, you know, I wish I would have did something different. But right then and right there, that was what made sense for me. That's what made me happy. No regrets. It is what it is. But every single day you have to wake up and learn to prioritize you. If it does not make Deja happy, I cannot make myself miserable to please anybody else. I can't make myself miserable to please my parents. I can't make myself miserable to please my boss. I cannot make myself miserable to please my partner, my friend, nobody. If Johnny had 7 apples and wanted one for each day of the week, and Katie asked Johnny for an apple, and Johnny didn't want to give Katie an apple, then Johnny should still have 7 apples. Johnny is prioritizing himself right now. Johnny is looking out for his future. He is not selfish. Katie has to understand that if she wants apples, the store is across the street. That's where Johnny got his from. He just directed her to it. He's not evil. He's not selfish. He said, hey, Katie, I can't give you my apples. I need my 7 apples for the week. This is my plan. I already planned my lunch out. I'm going to have 1 apple every day. I budgeted. I made sure I got myself together. I got them from the store over here, girl. Like, I'm sorry, I can't give it to you. Johnny's not selfish for that. Be like Johnny. Do not allow the Katies in your life to pressure you into giving your time, into giving your energy, into giving your money, into giving your happiness away for things that you don't want to do. If Johnny wanted to share with Katie, he can. Johnny is not evil for not giving Katie his apples. Maybe he'll plan to do that next week, just not this week. He had it planned. I had to kind of take a little break because Johnny and his apples made the camera overheat. So hopefully we're good. I'm going to pick back up where I was at. But if Johnny's not evil for not wanting to share his apples with Katie, Johnny is, focused on his career. Katie doesn't know the details of Johnny's life. Katie doesn't know that Johnny's saving for a car. Katie doesn't know that Johnny's working on his fitness goals. Katie just wanted to ask for something, which is fine. But Johnny has to focus on Johnny right now. That was the little, you know how when you're younger and you have math problems and stuff, and they're like, if Johnny had 3 apples and he gave 2 apples away, how many apples does Johnny have? Johnny still got his damn 3 apples because he said, hell no, I'm not giving them away. I'm prioritizing me right now. So that's my little analogy to that, okay? And that's all I have to say to that topic. Prioritize yourself right now. Nobody knows what's going on. Nobody knows you're trying to pay that credit card off. Nobody knows you're saving for that house. Nobody knows what you're doing. Nobody knows your business. And it's not you don't have to share that with anybody. You don't have to feel guilty for telling people, I don't have time for that right now. You don't have to feel guilty for telling people, I don't want to do that. I don't want to go out to happy hour. I can't make this trip. I'm focused on me right now. I'm focused on my goals. This is not the time for you to be worrying about if somebody and people pleasing and doing all of that. No. Set boundaries, prioritize yourself, be like Johnny, keep your apples. Nobody's saying you're evil, but the same way you went to the store, the same way you went to the store, the same way you went and got that college degree, the same way you went and got that job, the same way you went and got your car, the same way you did this, and this. You got 24 hours in your day. They didn't have time to do that for you. And it's not that they don't have time for it, but other people could say, oh, can we reschedule? Oh, can we do it next week instead of this week? Everybody else got their own things. Prioritize you. Make sure you're good. Make sure you're straight. Be like Johnny. Maybe next week you could give Katie an apple. But this week, that wasn't in the plans. And if you don't want to switch the plans, if you can't switch the plans, don't. Prioritize yourself. And okay, let me get to finishing. Let me do some of this makeup real quick. And then we're going to finish up because I wanted to finish up some of this makeup. I'm going to use my Maybelline Fit Me powder to set my face. I've been actually loving using pressed powders a lot lately. I still love my Laura Mercier girl, okay? I still like her. I actually might put some underneath my eyes to put before my eyeshadow, which is what I'll probably end up doing because I do want to put a little bit of eyeshadow on for this video.
clutch, that's fine for you. I do that 3-4 times again, I testify for you. I told her like you, that bitch, I do it. All of them around you scared to do it. I'm not. As long as you joking now here for me, I ain't got it. Mobbing, scheming, looting, I ain't your body. As long as you dreaming about me, ain't no problem. I don't got nobody just with you right now. But the truth, I look better under you. I can't lose when I'm with you. How can us lose and miss the moment? You just too important. Nobody do body like you do. I can't lose when I'm with you. I can't just lose and miss the moment. You just too important. Nobody do body like you do. You do.
Okay, I feel like we're a little more caught up on the makeup. So let's get back into a little chit chat. So the last thing that I want to mention is, and I'm gonna hold your hand when I say this, okay, girl? You listening to me? You're listening to me? I'm holding your hand. And I gotta hold mine too. Is we gotta stop doing shit for the plot, okay? We have to stop doing things for the plot. Also, make sure that you are commenting pink hearts under this video. Make sure you are subscribing if you have not already. I'm back. Like, I'm back right now, okay? I ain't gonna say I'm back all the time. I'm not gonna say I'm back forever, but I'm back. So make sure you all are subscribing. But like I'm saying, we are not doing things for the plot no more, okay? I've done a lot of things for the plot. I'm not gonna lie. I've done a lot of things for the plot. I probably got some more shit that is gonna be for the plot. But when you know better, you have to do better. And it has to make sense. It has to make sense. Whatever making sense is to you. Certain things can make sense to you. It don't gotta make sense to me, but it needs to make sense. And if it does not make sense, why the fuck are you doing it? Why are you doing it? You need to stop, like yesterday. We aren't playing God and trying to make sure we have the future all figured out to a T. Shit don't need to be super, super deep all the time, okay? It has to be the small things that are making sense. If you want to lose weight, does it make sense for you to go to the store and buy Oreo chips, dip, ice cream, not work out? That does not make sense. If you have to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to go to work, but you're out until 2 and 3 and you can't get up and now you're sleepy at the job, does that make sense? No. Little things like that need to make sense. Things need to make sense. Like, we are in our 20s. We don't have, like, time will fly by. You have to be responsible. You have to be responsible. Yes, you could have fun. Yes, you could go party. Yes, you could live your life. Yes, you could do these things. But sometimes these things just have to make sense. This is not to say be a loser and you're lame for being responsible, but it just has to make sense. We need to stop doing things for the plot, okay? You have to start being responsible. We can not have this birdie brain of I'm just doing this for the plot. I'm just doing this for the plot. This is not a Tyler Perry movie, okay? This is not a Tyler Perry movie where you could say cut. You have to live with the decisions that you're making. It's all fun doing shit for the plot until you look at your bank account. It's all fun doing things for the plot until you go pee on a stick or end up at the hospital or jail. It's all fun doing it for the plot until you're really stuck in this plot of this crazy ass movie that is your real life. You have to be mindful of the decisions you're making. Cherish this time, enjoy the lessons and mistakes. But if you feel like it does not make sense, trust that feeling in your intuition and stop it. I love you guys. I'm finishing up my makeup right now. I love you all so, so much. I love my podcast so, so much. I love this platform so, so much. I can't wait to edit this video make my little clips, my little snippets, my little reels for you all. We go through, or I go through, I can't speak for everybody, but I go through these seasons of like growth and development. And you can do a podcast, but when you're specifically doing podcasts about self-help, when you're specifically studying psychology and actively going through therapy and also actively going through the periods that you're talking about in your life. I'm in my 20s just like you all. And I think it's important to have these conversations. But I also have to remember that I am also taking my own advice. And sometimes I don't take my own advice, so I'll be having to rewatch my damn videos, okay? I'll be like, girl, let me run that back. Because right now I'm not really focusing on Deja. I'm focusing on everything else but Deja. Let me run that back because right now I'm not being motivated. I'm being lazy. Right now I am doing shit for the plot. And I don't need to be doing stuff for the plot. Right now I do need to, focus on my happiness and realize that the reason why I'm not happy is because I'm not grateful for the things that I have. I need to sometimes go back and recharge and take a break and, reflect a little bit. It's been a long time since I put some eyeshadow on my face. It's been a long time since I felt like, wow, I'm not just getting up and going to the gym and going to work and doing all of that, I'm a human just like you all. And whenever I make these episodes, it's very healing. It's very therapeutic for myself. I hope that I, touch someone out there as I'm making these episodes and they appreciate it. I hope you all appreciate these videos. I like making them. I tell you all the time, and I say all the time that I do this for me. I know that it's going to come and everything's going to work itself out, but I really do these videos for myself. I enjoy it. It brings me joy. It brings me peace. And whenever I feel like it's a burden or whenever I feel like it's a lot, I don't record. This is not my full-time job. It's why I do go to school, because I learned about myself. And this is not nothing to do with the episode. Like I said, this is girl chat. But I used to do content full-time when I was in college. And then something I learned about myself when I graduated was it's a lot to show up on camera all the time as this version. The get up, get dressed, do your makeup, do your hair, record, whatever. And that was a reason why I did go get a full-time job. That was a reason why I did decide that, okay, I'm going to go to school full-time, because there are seasons in my life and there are time periods in my life where I just can't. I can't record. I can't do this. I can't show up like this. And I need to keep my bills paid. I need to do that. So I'm going to go to work. Because when I go to work, I just gotta work. I don't need to be the Deja, okay? The Deja, she comes around. She's here. She's in my heart. She's in my soul. But she can't show up all the time. She's not here. I'm a human. I have emotions, but I also have bills, so I work a job. And it's okay to take breaks. And I am learning to do that for myself. But I'm feeling myself pushing to be the boom boom Deja. I don't know. I also have seasonal depression. So, it's getting warm outside. My birthday is getting ready to come up. I've been transitioning a lot in my personal life. And I told you all this season we wouldn't be talking all about my personal life because that has nothing to do with the masses. But I have been doing a lot of transitions in my personal life, period. That's all I'm going to say. That have really allowed for me to grow a lot as an individual, and learn a lot about myself. So I'm going to go ahead and finish my makeup, and then we're going to close off this podcast episode. I just sprayed my face, and I'm going to go ahead and do my lippy. Y'all, I have this sewing in that I think I'm going to get ready. Well, it's not even a sewing, it's a quick weave. But I think I'm going to get ready to take her out this upcoming week. But for the sake of the video and for everything, this is her in her glory. Also, do we see Mr. Leo? You see him? He wants to get out. I have him trapped in the bathroom. He's not trapped, but he wanted to come here for his own amusement. Now he's like, can I get out? And I'm like, you're gonna have to wait. Yeah, you guys, I hope you all enjoyed this episode. I enjoyed filming it. I'm feeling really happy to have recorded this video. Really happy to have gotten able to talk to you all. It's been a long time. And I will see you all in the next video. Make sure you all are subscribing. Make sure you all are giving this video a big thumbs up. Let's chat in the comment section below. And I will see you all, not next Monday, but the Monday afterwards. Bye.